And yeah, it's not looking good. It's just not a good look. That they're coming off of a decent game. Finishing strong would be great for them, but we'll see. Soniqs, or not Soniqs, excuse me, Comets actually as well. There was a really nice little 3K that Vegas got onto the gas cans to wipe them out that I think we missed. But overall, seeing them come alive would also be nice. You know me, I love to see the teams that are struggling finish out the day really strong, at least so they can build a little bit of momentum going into, you know, the next week.
Yeah, I mean, we love a good underdog story, but as you heard Forrest say, we're past the halfway point now for the grand finals, and teams are starting to run out of those opportunities to play catch-up. I mean, Veritas had a very strong first day, and they've struggled therein since, and that's led to them falling very far down the leaderboard. So as we take a look now at the flight path, see what teams have to work with, this is probably the most central flight path that we've had today, Godspeed.
It's a very central flight path, and we'll see if we get a very central circle. I mean, to be honest, none of the circles so far in Miramar have been really, like, wacky. You know what I mean? They've been pretty normal circles that we're used to seeing, especially that last one ending, like I said, it usually ends just there south or southwest of Impala, which is where it did. So we'll see if we get a little bit of a goofy circle with this plane path. Honestly, we probably won't. We'll just have to see where it pops. Teams are pretty much going to go where they want to go. Nothing out of the ordinary.
Yeah, we're not really seeing any fights for vehicles. Everybody giving each other, for the most part, enough space. And as we wait for that first circle to pop so we can get an idea of the flavor of this match, which is the last match of the evening, get a kind of an insight as well for some of these squads. Now, Zenith right now, we're following along with Kickstar. We're going to pick up a vehicle, pull it back themselves. They've got a nice little bit of a spread, and that circle's going to pop, and it's going to go hard to the north. Al-Zahar in the center.
Yeah, and while you were actually we were talking about that, SDK, I think, lost another member. Yeah, and there's another knock. ATC has been fighting SDK, and Civ is going to go. I'm pretty sure it's just going to be Luke now. And although I could definitely defend their play to crash ATC, or excuse me, Zenith in the last game, because that potentially would have won them the game. I mean, SDK is falling apart here in the last game, and that is not a good look for them at all. It's just down to Luke.
Veritas could really capitalize from this position, as we see down below quite a few teams fighting inside Al-Zahar. H-Win was actually knocked by TAC-8, who's, you can see, just up to the high ground on the right, but it is this push that's been coming in from Soniqs and Zenith. It's not going Soniqs' way right now, but Shrimzy getting some damage into Roth, getting a couple more shots onto the peak, tries to catch him on the stairs, gets him down really low. Roth. The Molotov doing some work here, and Shrimzy getting that knock, waiting for the throwable. They can get the flush, and they will be able to recover from this just a bit. But again, Win on the other side of town. He's safe for right now, but it might not be a chance to get the res just yet until they can take care of what's left of Zenith. As you see the flush coming there onto Roth. Tiggleton down to 1 HP and trade of damage, but he's got to pull back to heal.
But if he can help recover here, that'd be massive. Getting Shrimzy up, nice, laying down the smokes, as well as the Molly utilities coming out from Mime, and this is a really good stall here. At the very least, they're going to get Shrimzy up. Hwin, on the other hand, it's been a good game for Hwin. Unfortunately, he's going to be going down. He's going to be going back to spectator.
You know, while all of this has been happening as well, Comet sent Monty up ahead to the warehouse here in Al-Zahar, and that's where that knock onto Shrimzy came from. So a good information gathering for the Comets as they're able to push themselves into town. Now, as Soniqs still 3 up, needing to be a little bit careful. They're all stacked kind of into this one compound, you know, series of buildings, and that could be really dangerous, especially with Zenith having so many angles. But we'll pull back away. A couple more fights that are going on. Hardships managed to see that trap onto the north, but look at this, right onto Dodge.
Yeah. Hardships is going to rotate onto Dodge here. They have to be careful for the member of Dodge that's all the way in the distance. This Chubble's going to go down, but even still, they might be able to clean this up. And in the meanwhile, by the way, Luke's out, so STK have finished in last once again.
A really heartbreaking play that you hate to see from them, but now as you see Hardships trying to hold their own as they're taking quite a bit of damage. Lampalot and Danny G holding good positions out to the east, but from inside the compound, Adam getting another knock, getting the flush as well there onto Lobes, as Hardships are finding it hard to stay alive right now. Maluk with 8 HP, the last one still up, try to pop off that first aid kit, but gas cans from the west get the shot, and Honey Badger takes out what's left of Hardships.
Interestingly enough, is also quite split. It's really just Jazza off towards the north, holding everyone else, or at least trying to hold the compound, while the rest of the members of this team actually start taking shots at Tactical 8. My goodness, English is hard. And I really like this. Veritas actually setting up a member to potentially hold out a position where they can either scout from or rotate from later, while having the heaviest of the squad kind of going towards the rest of the teams on the edge to try to clean it up. And that's going to be an easy kill for Michael.
Michael taking out Hella, tries to get some damage there into Zealot. As TAC-8 left up just now with looks to be Weem and Lampalot. Or excuse me, Weem and Steezy. Steezy falls here. Weem's actually the last one still up there, but Michael and a couple of the members still have shots. I see the circle's actually going to pull back up to the north yet again. Almost everybody's in the zone except for Oath, but they've got a lot of positions to play from now as Veritas finishes clearing out what they've got on their edge. But look at this. El Zahar kind of calmed down a bit, and Soniqs were able to send Mime and Shrimzy up to investigate.
They've left to go deal with what I opened.
I'm not sure if they've realized that Soniqs have been here. I think Michael just spotting out Shrimzy. There you go. Smokes are out, switching to the DMR, getting ready for this fight. He's going to have to work just a bit, not only to keep Soniqs from keeping the pressure onto them, but to get back to his zone safely. As you see, he takes a hit there from Mime, and a second one's going to knock him down. The flush comes out immediately as Michael falls, and that is something Veritas doesn't need right now. As you said, they've got so many teams fighting in their area, but speaking of a lot of teams fighting in one area, Al Zahar is continuing to pop off. Yeah, you've got the potential for Comets, Rumblers, and Oath all to rotate into this position that Zenith has, and depending on who is alive at the south, to play up on that ridgeline opposite of Soniqs to try and regain control and even control over those compounds that Duel has. But you can see right now the shooting is coming out from Oath onto the Rumblers. As Balefrost has Gaxi in his sights, and at range, you can see the damage still coming back out, and this is kind of a pinch that the Rumblers are going to really struggle to pull back from, but at the same time, Oath need to be mindful of the time that they spend in this fight, because they too still need to get themselves to the zone, but they won't be able to do so safely until the Rumblers are out of the way. But Gaxi accidentally running over Waldo is terrible, and that is going to send the signal there to Oath that now's the time to move, but McCoy is going to full send it close up with the bike, tries to take down Balefrost, but is denied as Balefrost gets that knock. Finds the flush as well, and Rumblers starting to fall apart here as looks like Punij and Shinboy are being sent ahead from Zenith as well out of their position to try to keep the pressure on both of these teams, because still neither are in the zone.
Yeah, and that knock was actually really unfortunate when Gaxi hit Waldo, because that forced Gaxi to take his eyes off of McCoy, and the support to get him onto that ridge is pretty much what got him killed, and Waldo has run over Poon, but Zenith will wipe out the rest of the Rumblers.
Los?
Actually, no. Los is alive. I lied.
Yeah. On a tree, is doing some damage onto Zenith, but Oath coming in from the backside. Relo spots him out, and that is it for Rumblers as they fall now down to just 9 teams. But Zenith will keep a little bit of control to south, at least in terms of the city. Oath have managed to crawl themselves into the ridge, and now, as you can see right now, Relo is just going to go ahead and full send it. And this is a great angle. Zenith can't see him here.
We'll see what happens. I mean, Duel could also get out for free, but I could see this being a big problem for them.
Looks like Oath as well deciding to take some action onto Comets, as you see Pat Caps and Relo keep that damage up. And Knock comes out onto Vegas, but you've got Snakers and Balefrost keeping an eye on Duel, making sure the push doesn't come up for the compound. 2 members of Duel are going to send it up to the north, closer in fact to Dodge. But meanwhile, on the opposite side of the ridgeline, Soniqs still trying to hold this position as the push coming in from Veritas. Jazza trying to get the wrap onto Tiggleton, but we see Mime has already found himself a nice little angle for the rest that could potentially come, but he's also keeping an eye on One Eye Open.
And One Eye Open have pretty much been chilling this whole time. I mean, they really haven't had to do much as far as moving. They rotated here early, and they've been pretty fortunate that Circle's been coming to them. However, they are going to have to deal with 2 teams, actually, when they decide to push, and it's going to be Veritas and potentially Dodge. Meanwhile, Oath is just ripping Zenith and Comets apart.
You know, you asked me earlier my opinion of Oath and how I thought they were playing, and this is really what I'm feeling. They're
Yeah,
making
this is
smart
great.
decisions. They're making smart plays. You see the teamwork coming out from them, and they're able to kind of break away, break focus, split it up a little bit, and then regroup as it's needed. And that's brought them some success so far for this match, as they're sitting on quite a bit of kills for themselves, but still with 9 teams alive. They got to hold on a little bit longer for us to get into those placement points and, continue keeping the pressure from all these teams down in the bowl. Now Comet's up to just 2.
Oh.
Yak's lead, last one still up as Vegas Falls gets flushed out there from the Zenith boys as Kickstart and Poonage laying into them, but Yaxley getting a trade. He's going to find Poonage down, takes him down, but Shimboy getting him very low. The next peak comes at a cost, and he falls here as Tickleton's also going to steal a kill out of this. But that said, only one team still left in the city. It is Zenith, and they're coming out badly damaged.
Yeah, Zenith, I would be surprised. Wait a second, actually. This fight between Oath and Soniqs could somewhat buy Zenith some time. We'll have to see, but at the same time, I really do love how Oath has noticed that there are still potentially members in this compound from Duel, and they are hard-pressed to make sure that they cripple that team.
If Oath could really take out these 2 members of Duel in front of him, which is Wooly and Pentalol, that will give them the ability to challenge the rest of Duel for that position. Soniqs already trying to wrap in, rotate to the southern part of the circles. You've got 2 squads that need to work their way in, and you can see the fighting coming out now from Oath as the smoke wall is out. ARs are out as well, and they're trying to do what they can to stay up and alive. But meanwhile, it's actually going to be a bit of a trade there.
It's a mess.
Soniqs getting all of Zenith, but they're going to lose 1 to Oath here as Shrimzy bleeding out. Looks like the res might be coming out from Mime. The smoke is out, and Tiggleton trying to hold a little defensive position, giving him some time. You can see more shots and damage out from Oath, but the circle, this is a rough one for Oath.
Oh! Volley exploded in his hand, or as it left. That was crazy.
I think it was a nade. I think the nade hit his molly, and unfortunately falling back onto Tiggleton. He's going to be able to survive that, but that's actually going to break his focus away and allow Veritas to rotate back in around this, as Mime was trying to get a little bit of help onto Shrimzy here. So 2 players still up here for Soniqs. Veritas is going to pull back once again from this. I mean, we look at how many teams are trying to play for dominance in the South. In fact, I think that this push coming in from Veritas is huge for Oath to try to find their way into the zone.
Yeah, and Oath, with only 2 kills, don't be mistaken, they have put an insane amount of damage onto the field. They haven't really been able to finish a lot of those kills, but Oath has been on the South just farming damage, farming knocks, and they've really been hurting a lot of these teams. Soniqs obviously among one of those teams. 6 kills on Soniqs, 2 left, Tiggleton and Mime, and they're starting to get pinched now.
Starting to get pinched, like you said, but they're still finding some knocks here. So they're going to get E-treats down, but it's stolen by ATC, and Tiggleton trying to do something about...
Nice.
Oh, Keenan there, and he is going to get that knock. We can see the kill feed is absolutely lighting up right now. All the teams to the south in conjunction fighting one another. Mime spots out one more for Veritas. They're going to be flushed, and now the time is out. Mime actually will be able to get this res off on Tiggleton, but he's got to act quickly. As we can see right now, using a chance to heal while the blue zone is closing in. Meanwhile, Duel finished what was left of Oath. So they will fall, unfortunately. But like you said, they did so much work this match.
They did. Soniqs is ridiculous right now.
We've talked about teams that when they're up at a fraction, not a full squad, who is scary and who's deadly. And Soniqs have kind of been one of those on the list. Tiggleton and Mime being 2 big fraggers for that team. Definitely not 2 members of Soniqs that you want to have up with the top 4, as we see now the top of the screen. ATC with 1 alive, 1 Eye Open with a full 4 stack, Duel and Soniqs with 2 apiece. So as 1 Eye Open move to regain control, we see Delta sitting there up in the center trying to get as close to the high ground as possible and get as much information onto Soniqs. The Raps coming back in. Mime, Tiggleton, I think, sensing this just a bit, preparing for the fight, but you've got Norcus caught in between.
Yeah, Norcus, I don't really think anyone knows if Norcus is there. I'm sure maybe Mime's... never mind. Delta proved me wrong immediately. Thank you for that. So Norcus will go down, and that's actually good for Soniqs. They can potentially wrap a little more towards the west, or at least around that rock, if they want to try to get a play going on that position where Norcus is, because they don't have to worry about a solo there potentially snaking out one of the members.
you know, that dip right in front of us is the final stopping point of the blue zone phase 9. The very center of this is where all teams need to move right now, still sitting on the edge. But one eye open, a lot of potential for control if they can kind of keep that high ground that both Winlow and Manhardy are playing from. We could see the exchange of damage coming out from Soniqs, but Mime's going to get a few more shots into Manhardy as he tries to pull back into cover for his squad mates. Meanwhile, Patron and Delta have to worry about the members of Duel, Wooly and Cherry, trying to push into the zone, and we see Tiggleton's going to spot them out. So we've kind of got a little bit of a three-way action going on here. Wooly actually getting the knock and flush onto Delta. That could be huge for Duel if they could take care of Patron. We'll have a ridgeline to play from, keeping them protected, but Tiggleton's going to break away from Mime and focus on all the fighting going on to the east.
I love this play, this beautiful split coming out from Soniqs. They realize at this point it's probably best to get as much coverage on the map as possible with only 2 members. That flash is going to be huge.
Mime almost survives that down with 9 HP, but as he turns away, is going to get spotted out as meanwhile, Duel clearing themselves out. Tiggleton is going to really...
He actually...
11 kills for Sonic.
He has better cover right now on the center. Yeah, his cover is not great, but the fact... Oh! Tig! Winnable. This is
absolutely insane. Beautiful headshot coming in from Tiggleton as he evens the odds now. Winlow taking some free fire shots. Look at this angle he's got here.
You can't!
Thanks. Tiggleton does it. 13 kills. Absolutely insane display from Soniqs in the final match tonight.
Wow. Tig.
Respect my mind, no die from last y'all. I pray my dick get big as the Apple time, so I can fuck the world for 72 hours.